Welcome to the Viking Age podcast. It's the official podcast of the VikingAge.com. My name is Schad. I write for FanSided and ZoneCoverage.com. He is Adam Patrick, managing editor for the VikingAge.com and a lead editor for the NFL division at FanSided. We do this right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We are also in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. And by the way, I do want to give some love here to one of our loyal listeners who decided to give us a little comment here. And we appreciate comments like this. And I wanted to read it because it's pretty cool. This is from, as I pull it up here, Danielle. And I do not know how to pronounce your last name. So if it's, I believe it's Daniel. So I apologize for that. It's Daniel, Daniel, something like that. I apologize. I don't think they call people Daniel in Australia, but
you never know.
Daniel, and again, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. He did comment and he said, Chris, you wanted comments listening from Australia. Love the podcast. Perfect blend of humor, optimism, pessimism, depression. Fits with being a Viking fan over the past 55 years. Keep up the good work. So, Daniel, we appreciate the comments. If you got comments, drop them below.
Share where you are.
Yeah, I want to point because I think that's very cool. We got people from Australia listening. Yeah. So that we're big Rhea Ripley fans here on the podcast. Yeah. So very much. So that is pretty cool.
Not Grayson Waller though.
Nah, Grayson Waller, not the same. Not the same as Rhea Ripley. Today's show, though, Adam Thielen and CJ Ham call it quits. We have another interesting trade opportunity that may have gotten a little more interesting for the Vikings. And we got a new quarterback that we're going to discuss. So let's start on the quarterback front because Carson Wentz is a Minnesota Viking once again. He agreed to a one-year deal to come back to Minnesota on Thursday morning. The goal was to continue building a deeper quarterback room for the Vikings. Basically, the biggest competition for anybody that has ever competed in the Vikings quarterback room right now. And a lot of people have jumped online. They've posted their 9 memes and they said this is the end for JJ McCarthy. So let's start with Carson Wentz. Is this the end for JJ McCarthy? Because I say, let's talk about Carson Wentz and we go right back to Jay because I don't care about Carson Wentz. No. I know there is a Viking analyst out there, Ben Lieber, who thinks he's at the top of the depth chart right now because he knows the offense and everything else because he was a winner and he drove them out. He was not a winner. Technically, they went 2-3 when he was the starter last year, but selective memory. You can actually, I think he won 2 because he started the Bengals game. So I'm thinking all that here. Vikings quarterback room gets Carson Wentz back. Let's start right there. What do you think, Adam?
I think you answered your own question when you said
I did.
I don't care about Carson Wentz. So, yeah, I mean, if you're sitting there thinking, "Oh, they signed Carson Wentz," it's the nail in the coffin for JJ McCarthy. It's like, come on, like it's March, and 2, yeah, like the Ben Lieber thing where he put, right now. If I had to list the depth chart, I'd have Carson Wentz in there because, he above Kyler because he knows the offense. And then somebody commented on that when I questioned it today and said, well, it's just because Kyler doesn't know the offense yet. And I'm like, would he post the same thing if they traded for Joe Burrow? Because I don't think he would. Yeah, like, is it good for JJ McCarthy that he might have to compete with someone now for QB2? Yes and no. No, because now the job's not going to be handed to him, and that's okay. And this is assuming that Kyler wins the QB1 role because we don't even, to be fair, we don't know what he's even going to look like in OTAs or training camp either or preseason. He could not be good, and then JJ wins the job. But now he also has the opportunity to compete and show that he can be better than Carson Wentz, which was not the case last year. I think if you watch JJ's games and Carson Wentz's games, Carson Wentz, just looking at it, maybe not the measurables, the stats, the box scores, didn't say the same, but if you watched a game with Carson Wentz running the offense and JJ running the offense, it ran more. I would say it ran more like Kevin O'Connell wanted to run his offense. Justin Jefferson certainly liked it more because his numbers were more where they have usually been because Carson Wentz knows how to get the ball to his best guys, and not just fire lasers at them every time they're open. So I think it's overall, I think it's good for JJ McCarthy to not be handed the job, whether it's QB1 or QB2. He's got to go in there with like a competing mentality. And if he's unable to beat out Kyler or Carson Wentz for the QB2 job, then you have your answer on him. But I'm also not going to sit here in March and be like, oh, time to trade JJ. He's 23. You got to see, you know what? If they can get a first or an early second, fine, trade him. But you better hope Kyler returns next year. If you're going to trade JJ McCarthy, you better hope you already have a plan for next year, because you trade JJ McCarthy, Kyler does well, then he goes to, like, I don't know, the Rams and gets paid there. And then you're stuck with what? Carson Wentz and Max Brosmer? Like, so if you're going to get rid of JJ McCarthy, you better have a solid backup plan. But in the end, overall, I think this is just Kevin O'Connell being like, hey, I don't want to sign a quarterback a week before the regular season. I want everyone in here learning the offense, but the same amount of time, learning through OTAs, training camp, mini camp, preseason, everyone in here at the same time. I don't want Sam Howell being traded for in the middle of the draft. I don't want Carson Wentz coming in, a month before the season. I want everyone to be on a level playing field, and the best will come out on top. I think a lot of us would think that'll be Kyler Murray. But time will tell, I guess.
Well, it's interesting you didn't mention Max Brosmer in your assessment of
the
it's
the end for him. So
he will make a great offensive coordinator, practice squad guy.
Sean Mannion,
I'm sure
2.0.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be great. I did get into a bit of a spat online because I'm an asshole online, but there was somebody who said, oh, well, Max Brosmer, he went 1-1 and he, his loss was in Seattle.
Did you watch the game he won? Did he do anything? No.
That's what I pointed out. Also, too, if we want to talk about the Vikings dumbing down the offense for JJ McCarthy, let's just say that was a very paint by numbers game.
Kevin O'Connell was willing to run when Max Brosmer was under center. That's how poorly it was going. He was like, you know what? Maybe this running the ball isn't so bad.
Let's do a little. But still he could not resist giving it to his wide receiver, because the only touchdown they scored in that game was a Jordan Addison reverse. So there is that. I sit here with the McCarthy thing, and I do. When you think about the Wentz thing, I do like it. Like, if Kyler can't pick up the offense, you have somebody that knows the offense. That's great. Wentz was not spectacular when he was in there. He was functional. I guess that would be the word that I would use. As long as his shoulder wasn't hanging out of his socket, he was functional.
And he might have been better had he signed in March of last year or April. So, like, he could be better.
Yeah, I mean, he could do better this year. The thing with McCarthy is, I feel like we are going through a circus that we don't need to go through at this point. And I lean towards, hey, rip the Band-Aid off, trade him for pennies, and just deal with the consequences. Because this whole thing, there was a article by SI's Albert Breer this week that basically said Kevin O'Connell pulled Kyler Murray aside during his visit and said, I think you could be our quarterback for multiple years. And if I'm JJ McCarthy reading that, I'm going,
hey,
yeah, that seems a little weird. Like, everything that is coming out of, I'm just going to say it. I've been watching basketball all day and having a grand old day. So I'm just going to fire what I think. I think Kevin O'Connell's a snake right now. I don't believe anything out of his mouth. I don't think he's telling the truth whenever. Maybe it's journalism 101. Why is this person lying to me? I think he is trying to save his ass, and he'll say anything to make anybody around him happy, whether it's the Wilfs, whether it's JJ McCarthy, whether it's Kyler Murray. He is going to kiss up and kiss ass as long as he keeps his job. And you know what? Kevin O'Connell's a very good head coach, but at the same time, he's got to do what he's got to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think when it comes to McCarthy, I said it back in December, something doesn't feel right. I don't think he's meshing with everybody. And I think it would just be in the best interest of everybody to move on and rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I think they should keep him, they could also just be right now talking to teams who might be interested in trading for him. I'm trying to think, who would even be interested right now. I think it'd be wise to hang on to him maybe until training camp to see, one, if he has improved, and two, that's usually when teams are like, we have Sam Howell. We don't want him anymore. Let's see what JJ McCarthy has and bring him in. Maybe Trey Lance doesn't play as well for the Chargers this summer, that he did last year, and Jim Harbaugh's like, hey, we can get JJ McCarthy in here. Let's see if we can do that. So, or John Harbaugh in New York or something like that. But yeah, it doesn't. There hasn't been. There hasn't been any positive press about JJ McCarthy since the end of the season, other than like his hand's gonna heal okay after they made him play in the final game with a broken bone. So like there hasn't been a whole lot, and I wonder, I wonder how JJ's camp feels, because they've been playing the be the better man part and keep it quiet and just let your play do the talking. But I think at some point it's got to reach like a breaking point. Like, hey, what? Like, I'm very curious when they come for OTAs and they get to actually like answer questions from reporters, how JJ reacts. I know he's probably going to say the right things and be like, "Oh, it's a competition. I'm here to compete." Kyler's cool. He's fun to hang around with, but we're both competing for the same job, and I'm gonna compete as hard as I can to get it. I don't think he will, but he's gonna try. But yeah, Kevin O'Connell, in another life, he'd be a great used car salesman. After he's done coaching, he probably has a career in politics if he wants. He knows how to tell people what they want to hear. He does that with coaching, and that's probably why he is a good coach, and he is able to build up that culture, because his approach to coaching is more building people up than tearing them down, which wasn't the case about the previous regime. But the previous regime was also more successful. So, you take whatever approach you think works best. But I would agree with you. I feel like I've been that way kind of since last season when Kevin O'Connell was, building up JJ McCarthy all through the offseason and training camp, like, oh, this kid's ready, like we're so excited, and then he clearly wasn't ready in the regular season, and everyone saw that, and then you were like, I gotta adjust the offense so he can play better. So yeah, I haven't believed him in a while, and I don't think you really unless it's Mike Zimmer, and because we know he's just telling you the truth straight up most of the time. You really shouldn't believe any coach, like, because they have no reason to tell you the truth. It doesn't really benefit them to tell you the truth anyways. And Mike Zimmer just didn't care, so he just told you the truth all the time.
It also felt like Kevin O'Connell did not care over those past 5 games. He did in terms of wins and losses. That's why they won those games. But also, to that whole adjusting the offense didn't feel like, hey, I'm going to help out my quarterback. It was just lighting a cigarette on the sideline and be like, all right, kid, go ahead and stick your finger in the light socket. I don't care anymore.
It's probably like someone, above him was like, hey, can we help this kid out and, actually let him play? And he's like, okay.
Here, I will say something about this, because I'm glad you said that, because this is something that's not being talked about. The Wilfs hate losing.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what else they hate more? Getting embarrassed.
Yep.
And I don't think it was, if JJ McCarthy was just bad and he showed those flashes at the end of the year and there wasn't a lot of drama behind it, I think we're having a different conversation right now. And maybe the Vikings are, more open to letting McCarthy develop in the second year.
Yeah.
But I think the Wilfs might look at McCarthy and decide he left a black eye on this franchise. Like, the 9 meme is not going away. Like,
what did I see it for? Did I see it for World Baseball Classic
Yes.
with Aaron Judge.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before. I'm like, did your quarterback suck? Nine him. Did your head coach make a wrong call? Nine him.
Oh, there's
Are you
gonna be
mad at a politician? Nine him. Did your wife sleep with the mailman? 9999999999.
March Madness just started, so there'll probably be
somebody
some
will
nine
get
meme.
nined.
Yeah,
I'm sure, because it's like an antisocial person quoting The Office. Because hey, you guys like The Office, right? You guys like the nine meme, don't you? But I mean, it goes beyond that. It's, his quarterback coach brawling with Chris Carter online. It's gritty gate when he gritties into the end zone and they told him not to. It's playing at a historically bad level. And by the way, it was that first game against the Packers where he absolutely got clobbered. Like
Lambeau.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think too, there's other things that are kind of holding the Vikings back from just ripping the Band-Aid off. Like, fans don't want another quarterback to leave and go down the Sam Darnold path and get the Baker Mayfield deal and become the next Phoenix quarterback or whatever shitty catchphrase we're throwing out here now. Kevin O'Connell is probably having flashbacks to when he got cut by the Jets, where they said, hey, you're cut, before he even sat down in the office. Like, I think, it might just be best to say, all right, man, like it's just not going to work here. Like, we're going to trade you to the Chargers. We're going to move on with Kyler, because when you think about it too, it's like they've said more positive things about Max Brosmer since the start of last season than they have about JJ McCarthy.
So, I said more about Carson Wentz today.
Yeah.
I mean, the reporters did. They were like, Pelissero and Alec Lewis were like, oh, the Vikings probably would have made the playoffs if Carson Wentz played the whole season. I'm like, what? He would not have beat the Lions. I don't think he would have.
Here's an honest question. Do you think, I know writing that down is some other Vikings podcast thing, but do you think the Vikings social media team will put out a picture of Kevin O'Connell and McCarthy's kid during training camp? Just KOC loves the kids. See, it's Tim and Rome.
No,
Tim and Rome.
The funny thing is, I think Carson Wentz, like, his wife was due to have a kid right around when he got injured. So if he didn't get injured, we could have had a whole other scenario. Or
exactly.
What are you doing?
Like, I'm thinking 20 years down the road, Kevin O'Connell like somehow still has his job because he's went 9-8 long enough, and like this kid comes into his office with the broccoli hair and everything, and he's like streaming it on TikTok or whatever social media thing comes in, and he just looks at him. He goes, "My name is Rome McCarthy. You benched my father. Prepare to die." And no, Rome. Seriously, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. Like,
meanwhile,
what do you want? What do you want? I'll give you anything. I want my father's job back, you son of a bitch.
Meanwhile, KOC, I think he has 4 kids. So it's not like,
yeah.
But I bet you the selling point for Kyler was, hey, he doesn't even have kids. He might be the same size as a kid, but he doesn't have any kids.
I play video games, bro.
Yeah. You don't have any kids, though,
like
right?
Me. Just no kids, just a lot of CFB.
Here's my question. If they want Kyler to be number 1 and they want Wentz to be number 2 because they'll feel more confident about him going in mid-game than they would JJ McCarthy, is it really that bad for McCarthy to be QB3? Like, unless he asked for a trade or whatever, like, is it that terrible? Like, wouldn't it be best for him to sit back and just try and learn as much as possible, because he'll be healthy this year, unlike the year where he was unhealthy and he couldn't really do anything. They said he used the VR stuff, but then Kevin O'Connell's kind of been like, yeah, we didn't really do that. But like Jordan Love was QB3 for a bit when he was developing with like Tim Boyle went in over him a couple times when Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing. So like, being QB3 isn't like a death sentence. If anything, it's more like your team allowing you. It's a lot of people have said Kevin O'Connell's like gone back on his organization's fail young quarterbacks before young quarterbacks fail organizations. And I feel like Kevin O'Connell is actually trying to help JJ McCarthy by bringing in people, not forcing him to play when he's not ready. Because if you just handed him over the job again and forced him out there next year, he would be doing the exact same thing that a Jets team does, or a Cardinals, or a Browns. Like, you've got to put this whole team on your back, be the savior, whether you're ready or not. And if you fail, then it's your fault. You're a bust. Sam Darnold esque, Baker Mayfield esque. So I think in a way, this is actually Kevin O'Connell, the organization, helping a young quarterback by giving him this chance to. He'll still be able to compete in OTAs and training camp. And knowing the Vikings, one of these quarterbacks is going to get hurt next year. Like, if you're a Vikings quarterback, you take a beating because Kevin O'Connell wants you to hold the ball for 6 seconds so Justin Jefferson can make 3 breaks down the field and then just be open. So JJ McCarthy starting the year as QB3, it's not like a death sentence that I think people are making it out to be on March 19th. It's not even April yet. It's March. Let's chill out, people.
It's the situation Kevin O'Connell wanted when JJ McCarthy came in here, because they signed Sam Darnold so he could develop. Yes.
They wanted to sign Daniel Jones.
And Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Kevin O'Connell wanted it, but somebody else didn't, whether it was the Wilfs or whatever. I mean, I just feel like they need to make a decision and stop this. Well, we like JJ, but we believe he could be a franchise quarterback, but we're going to put 4 guys ahead of him and do a super competition.
Are there expectations of him? Are they too high? Do they forget that he's 23 and
But that's not an excuse. I'm sorry.
Not every quarterback is gonna be super mature and grounded. There's gonna be guys where you have to kind of figure things out.
What was the last quarterback you think had this much shit attached to him when they jumped in the starting lineup?
I mean, nobody really liked Baker Mayfield when he was quarterback, but he kind of
Baker got to the playoffs before his shit fell through.
Right.
I'm just saying here because I think this is just me being a realist. Let me be clear. I want to ride this out. I want to ride this out and see what you have in JJ McCarthy. So last 5 games, he showed signs of life. So I think trading him right now is a premature decision. At the same time, we need to ask, what is McCarthy's ceiling? Because everybody says Josh Allen. He's probably not Josh Allen. That it would be a 1 of 1, as the kids say, glow up for a quarterback who was sailing passes to Wally the Beer Man last year. Is he Bryce Young? And if that's his ceiling, is that worth the Vikings' time? Because Carolina Panthers don't even know if Bryce Young's their quarterback of the future. So I think they just need to make a decision. If they want to be super competitive and chase their 10 wins and see what Kyler's got, just trade McCarthy for something, let him have a fighting chance somewhere else, and let's just see what Kyler does. But I think the real decision is going to come at the end of training camp, because like you said, teams will go, we don't want to carry this guy in this roster. We'd rather carry, another linebacker or something, and they'll trade McCarthy to wherever. So I don't think the decision is going to be made soon, but I think one needs to be made.
Yeah. Another quarterback who sat early in his career and then went on to be pretty solid, I'll even admit it, Mr. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
He was a 4th-round pick, but he got the opportunity to sit for a couple of years behind RG3, who was forced into the limelight. Now, obviously, he had an awesome rookie season, and then Shanahan, the elder Shanahan, forced him onto the field to ruin his knees. Seems to be a common theme in that family. But yeah, even someone like Kirk Cousins had the opportunity to sit back and learn, and it helped him in the long run on how to prepare, run an offense, be a leader and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just think this kid needs some time to just sit back and learn and not have the spotlight on. All these decisions, like this Carson Wentz signing, immediately it becomes about JJ McCarthy. And it's this is on Kyler Murray. Can we focus on how this will help Kyler Murray? I don't know. immediate. It's like, oh, they're done with JJ McCarthy. It's like maybe they're not. Like maybe he's 23 and they want to keep him around. They still have they can pick up his option. They still have 2 or 3 years left of team control in his contract. They want to see it out, and maybe he fills in this year and does well, or next year he fills in or something. But I could tell you one thing: I don't think the Vikings are planning on drafting a quarterback in 2027. I think it's either going to be somehow JJ McCarthy is going to find his way back in the QB1 spot, or they'll probably bring back Kyler if he plays well. I don't think they want to go. I don't think they want to go, or Joe Burrow, or I don't think they want to go that rookie quarterback route again. They'll be like, oh, yeah, let's do what Quasi wanted to do. Let's save money and build around a stupid rookie quarterback.
Or you mentioned Joe Burrow. The Browns are trying to make that as hard as possible, being like, hey, what happens if can we trade Bengals? 5 first-round
the picks? Browns. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Can we trade 5 first-round picks instead of 3?
Yeah, because they want to trade Myles Garrett.
That would be an absolute catastrophic
5. Yeah, what is this, NBA?
I mean, that shit's annoying. And it is a little bit different in the NBA because you only have 12 players, but
and 2 rounds in the draft.
I think what that would do is, I mean, that somebody used the word turbo fuck, and I loved it when it comes to this. But the bad teams are never going to get good because they're just going to deal 5 first-round picks and be
you know who's going to vote for that? The Rams.
Yeah. I don't see the problem here.
We can get rid of picks for 5 years from now. Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah, let's do this.
Because you look at you're making a trade with let's say the Dolphins, who are probably going to be terrible next year. You're like, oh yeah, we'll give you a pick in what is it, 2027? So we'll give you a pick in 2031 or 2032, and you're like, oh yeah, because Dolphins are going to be bad. And they turn things around within that time, become the next dynasty, and you're like, great, this pick is all the way at the end of the round that I got it from. So yeah, I think that's too many. I think that's too far.
I will say the best thing about the whole fuck them pick strategy that the Rams used. Yeah, A, it works. B, I can't remember what year it was, but it was a few years ago, and the Patriots took Cole Strange in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
And they were in the middle of the press conference. I don't know if they had some libations. I mean, they looked very mellow. And Sean McVay goes, man, we had that dude in the 4th round.
Yeah, I think they didn't even have I don't even think they had a pick that year. They just had
they were just sitting up there just laughing at other teams. It was great. What? Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. Well, good laughs and good times over at TCO Performance Center today on Thursday, as Adam Thielen and CJ Ham got it wasn't even a press conference. It was like a big,
it's like a presentation.
I mean, yeah, it should have had pyro or something, the Cody Rhodes, whoa, for CJ Ham. Adam Thielen and CJ Ham retired. Thielen, of course, played 10 years with the Vikings. CJ Ham played for 9 years. Both, of course, Minnesota natives. Ham from Duluth. Adam Thielen from Detroit Lakes went to Mankato. Obviously, that's on the Minnesota citizenship test. There weren't really many quotes of interest, so we won't go through that. It was very controlled by the Vikings, which is fine. Whatever. But 2 Viking legends.
Look,
would you consider it? I don't mean to shit on CJ Ham. That's not what I'm doing here.
Favorites.
Fan favorite. Let's go with that. 2 fan favorites retiring. How do you feel about it?
Let's go with CJ Ham, and I'll give him. I don't want you to discount him because you said he played 9 years, but I think he was with the Vikings for 10 because he was on the practice squad. I think that first year before he switched to fullback. Because he came, I don't know if people remember, he came in as a running back because he was a running back at Augustana. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So yeah, he came in, and Mike Zimmer was like, "Yes, a fullback, just Delvin, just run right behind, just run behind." He was playing 40-50% of the offensive snaps, just leading the way for Dalvin Cook. Made a couple Pro Bowls, so that was pretty cool, just to see him. And I think he was always involved in the community. He was their Walter Payton Man of the Year, I think, this year, right? So and he's never been a problem. So also been a good leader. He talked today, like people asked how like hey, they asked Adam and CJ about how they were able to like make their careers extend so far despite coming in as practice squad players. And CJ Ham was basically like just pretty much be willing to do anything. And he even talked about when Kevin O'Connell first arrived, how he didn't play as much because Kevin O'Connell's offense didn't really require a fullback, so he kind of had to figure out where there was a different spot on the team he could help out, and that turned out to be special teams. And so he did more on there, and then as time went on, he got to play more on offense and still excel in the special teams. And there's Thielen, who literally had a career made for a Disney movie. Like goes to Division II school, Minnesota, doesn't get invited to a combine. Not surprised. He's from Division II. Like you're not gonna. Those guys don't really get invited. They might in the future if the Division I guys keep not participating in the combine. But he paid. I was just looking at this last night. He paid $250 to go to a regional combine in Chicago. I think he got he timed like a 4.45 there. So like, okay, you can go to the super regional combine, which is in AT&T Stadium, the Cowboy Stadium. So he went there, did well again, and then the Vikings invited him to camp. He did well enough for them to keep him on a 90-man roster, and then they kept him on the practice squad that year, and then the following year he made the 53-man, and then he played special teams. He blocked the punt against the Panthers. That was his first touchdown. And continued to build everything until about, I think 2017 was the first year he started as a full-time starter. And then after that, he just kind of blossomed. It's weird how guys, you get them when they're young and you develop them, they get better over time. They're not everyone is good immediately. But and then Thielen also had the messy departures. The first one where, he wanted more opportunities a year after getting 107 targets. So he went to the Panthers. It had more to do with him having a $20 million cap hit, and the Vikings needed to clear cap space. And so he was easy to move on from. So he went to Carolina, and then this year they traded back for him, and everyone was excited. Get your number 19 jerseys out. Woohoo. And then, and he played a bunch the first 3 games with Jordan Addison suspended. But then after Addison came back, Thielen did not play a whole lot. He also didn't do much when he was on the field. He had 3 drops, and I think he had about 8 or 9 catches. And then he asked for a release, went to the Steelers, finished his career with them, and now he's back with the Vikings, signed a 1-day contract, and everything's back to rainbows and butterflies again.
Well, I want to talk about CJ Ham quick before I go to Adam Thielen. And I'm not going to put Thielen on back blast. I'm just going to talk about the situation with him. Ham, awesome story. I mean, anytime a player works his way up from a UDFA spot all the way to an active roster spot and then becomes like a fixture of the team, he is definitely a glue guy. I don't think he's a Ring of Honor guy, but he is definitely a guy that has been, one of those guys you're proud as a Viking. Like, he gets involved in the community. He's willing to do anything to help the team. We had Lindsey Young on, I believe it was already over a year ago, talk about Adam Thielen and CJ Ham and how much he does in the community. Yeah. Got the Walter Payton Man of the Year award nomination from the team 2 years in a row. So, I mean, awesome dude. Wish him the best in retirement. All of those things.
I picked the Vikings to cut him every year, but
I know. Well, he was basically Marcus Sherrills, because Marcus Sherrills was the same type of.
You're doing your 53, and you're like, they don't need a fullback.
They don't need a fullback. What's Sherrills? They can find another punt returner. Just have somebody else do punt. Diggs can return punts.
How'd that go?
Yeah, we're still looking for a punt returner after Marcus Sherrills left. So that's kind of what I think about Ham. Thielen's a bit complicated, and I understand that a lot of people, my brother-in-law Adam Thielen is his favorite player. Totally fine. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of good moments. There are a lot of accolades. There's also a lot of things. I think what makes, and you wrote about this over at the Viking Age, what makes this kind of difficult for a section of fans, and there's a large section of fans who feel this way, that Thielen kind of betrayed them twice. And, he didn't say much about it today, or anything about like leaving or like why he left or anything, because it was a Vikings entertainment network controlled environment. Nothing against VEN. I'm just saying that's how it was structured. But I think, the way it ended left a black eye, because it wasn't just like one thing where he said, I want to find opportunities. I'm still a top guy and whatever. And then he went to Carolina, and to his credit, he proved it. He had a 1,000-yard season with the Panthers. He came back, and when you look at the team, you can kind of understand why he asked out. But his wife coming out and saying, well, he wants to play and everything. It's just kind of like, all right, this is the second time you've done this. Like,
and she's not saying it just without his approval, I'm assuming.
Right. I think it would have went a long way if Adam Thielen went and said, and he did say how much the organization meant to him. He grew up watching Randy Moss and all of those things. It would have went a long way. And he could say whatever he wants. It's his retirement press conference. It's a hard day for any athlete. I understand that. But it would have went a long way towards the fans by saying, hey, this is my home. I'm a Viking. I will always be a Viking. No matter where else I played or how things went down, this is the place that was number one in my heart. And I think everybody would have been like, oh, okay, cool. And like some people would have been like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. But I mean, that's just the internet. I honestly think that things will get better now that he's retired, and he'll probably be around more. He's still very active in the community.
He said they're going to live in Minnesota. So.
Correct. Yep. He'll probably be a Ring of Honor guy at some point, just because he's one of the greatest receivers in Vikings history and has one of the coolest origin stories in Vikings history, to be honest. It's very understandable if you feel this way, where it's kind of like, not my favorite player, but you do understand the impact that he had and why they were doing things like this. So that's kind of my thoughts on the whole Thielen situation. It's a little messier than it needed to be, but I think things will get better. And, I think eventually people will remember the good times Thielen had.
He kind of did say that today, where, like Minnesota has always been his home and he loves the Vikings and stuff like that. But, there's that saying.
But I feel like it should have been, like, not to cut you off, I feel like it should have been directed towards the fans. Because there is like I said, there's a large chunk of fans.
But but it was more generalized. But he wanted his cake. He wanted to eat what you wanted to have your cake and eat it too. Yeah, he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. He wanted to be, Viking for life, have that accolade, but also be like the focal point of an offense or a passing game, even when his abilities weren't able to do that anymore, or his health wouldn't allow him to do that anymore. So, he left. And I think if it was more of a just business as usual, quiet departure, I don't think anyone has these feelings about him. Like, oh, it's business. He got cut. They had to do it. Like, does anyone talk about Danielle Hunter and like his ugly exit from the Vikings? No, because he didn't say anything. He doesn't say anything anyway.
He doesn't talk.
He's pretty quiet. But like, there was never any of this about like Anthony Barr or Eric Kendricks. Like, Thielen went on the press tour of like First Take, Pat McAfee, probably Rich Eisen too, like, of going on and being like, I think I can still play. I want to prove it. I want more opportunities. And it's like, dude, you got 107 targets in 2022. If you want more opportunities, you got to make the most. You got to make more of those opportunities.
And don't forget his Andy Dalton comments.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to win a Super Bowl, and then he's like, oh yeah, Carolina's going to do it. We got Andy Dalton here.
So like, he kind of digs these holes for himself. And then the Steelers thing, he gets to Pittsburgh right away after his first game, and he's like, yeah, I rediscovered my love for football. And it's like, What?
Yeah.
It's like, I understand wanting to appease your new fan base and everything and get people excited about you, but you also have to realize, like, the Vikings fan base, which supported you for the majority of your career, is also probably keeping tabs on you, especially this day and age where you can just see everything, what's going on everywhere. You know, keeping tabs on what you're saying, what you're doing, and you say something like that, and it's like, what? Like you rediscovered your love. You're in the NFL, man. Like, and you weren't getting. It's not like you weren't getting paid. You're
Yeah.
getting a pretty good amount of money to not do anything. If I was him, I would have been like, this retirement year is perfect. Like, just chill out, have some coffee. I know he likes coffee. Like, just chill out and relax. But you know, he's a competitor and he wants to play. So good thing he got those opportunities because I think he finished with like 13 catches in 6 games for the Steelers. So whatever. He got more opportunities. But yeah, there was more. I would say overall, there was more good than bad with Thielen. Um, that 2017 season was kind of like his coming out party. I think he had over like 1,200 yards receiving. Had that awesome catch. Like, people obviously think about the Minneapolis Miracle play, but he had a huge catch in that game too, like over the back of
He
Marcus
broke a bone
Lattimore.
in his back on that catch
Yeah,
too.
and he was a huge factor in the last Vikings playoff win in 2019, catching that deep ball down the field, and that was a year where he was hurt a bunch, and they didn't even know if didn't he like almost break his ankle in practice?
His Achilles. He
Yeah,
almost tore his Achilles in practice.
yeah. So he came back for that and played awesome. Um, even 2022 when like KOC was there, I think people still viewed Thielen and Jefferson as a one of the one of the best duos, receiving duos in the league. Obviously, Jefferson made most of that, but you know, Thielen had he made a lot of money, and the Vikings got a new regime to come in and clean the books, and he was an easy target because he had a big cap hit, and he should have known that. If he truly wanted to be a Viking for life, he could have probably found a way to work it out, take a pay cut. I know nobody wants to do that, but the NFL is not a normal position either, or a normal occupation either. So it's not like we're like, yeah, well, would you take a pay cut in your office? It's not the same. It's not the same. So yeah, there was more good than bad with Thielen. I'll give him that. I know more recently it's been a little more negativity, but there was a lot more good than bad overall with Adam Thielen.
Well, now that Mr. Thielen and Mr. Ham are retired, maybe they can hop on Underdog.
Oh yeah,
They can play a little bit of Underdog fantasy. Hey, the tournament is back. The upsets are inevitable, and Underdog is the place to get in on the action. Playing Underdog is easy. You just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, assists, and more. I've been playing Underdog for years. Adam has too, and I'll tell you just how easy it is. This morning, made a little bit of coffee, went straight to the app because there was a whole lot of basketball action going on. I like making some predictions every once in a while. I'll look, see what I like for the picks. I'll make my picks. And if I'm correct, I get some money that way. But of course, with Underdog, you have the traditional way as well, where you can pick, higher or lower on points, rebounds, all of those good assists. You could do one for a single game too. Maybe if you're Wisconsin's probably a bad example since they got bounced, but maybe pick a couple of guys from that game. If you're locked in on one game, you go higher or lower, get a couple entries on there, and you make some money just like that. It's a great alternative if your bracket is already busted. And all you got to do is download the app today sign up with the promo code The Age, which is all one word, and you score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code The Age. Underdog, make picks, win money. You must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. If you are concerned with your play, call 1-800-MY-RESET or 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. If you're in Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, 1-800-639-8783, or text Next Step to 53342. And in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 187-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. All right, Adam, you texted me this afternoon, very jigsaw-like fashion, said you wanted to play a game. I was terrified and thought I'd wake up with, my, handcuffed to a water heater somewhere. So, thankfully we're not doing that, but
No.
I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, I wanted to play. I feel like I need like game show music right now, but I wanted to just go through, how Charles Barkley does like where do they play or whatever on Inside the NBA. I want to do where do they play? Former Vikings, from free agency, because a bunch of them either left the team this year or they played with the Vikings previously and they're now with different teams. So I wanted to go over a few. Are you ready?
Yeah, I tried to give you the game show music a little bit. It was actually like Fandango's theme.
Yeah.
And then I realized that might be like copyright infringement.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I better stop right now. So
all right, we'll go easy to start with. Jalen Naylor, where'd he go?
Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. Ryan Wright.
New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. Jonathan Allen.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. Somehow he still continues to get paid. Here we go.
That was a bad contract by the Vikings. I hated it the second it was signed.
They don't have to pay. Luckily, they don't have to pay for it anymore.
Yes.
The Bengals are even dumber. And the Packers, too. I think Javon Hargrave's contract evened out with that, too. So they escaped pretty well. All right, let's go a little harder. Kairos Tonga.
Oh, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, that's a good one.
So we do Chief stuff at the RBN.
Oh, yeah, Chiefs King or Kansas City Kingdom.
KC Kingdom, yes. Yep. And, there's a photo that somebody uses because they posted up there. And I was scrolling. I thought it was Jacob Fatu. And I was like, all gas, no brakes,
he's probably part of the butt line somehow.
So he could fit in.
Yeah.
Like if he just pulled up, people would be like, yo, it's another bloodline, dude.
This guy hasn't been with the Vikings for a while, but Dalvin Tomlinson.
Oh, he was with the Cardinals.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Chargers.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Kevin O'Connell's favorite quarterback, Sam Howell.
Oh, shit. I know this. I saw it the other day, and now I can't think. Did he go to the Cardinals? Cowboys, yes. Yep.
Sticking with the Kevin O'Connell's favorites theme, Johnny Munt.
Oh, shit. I thought he was going to come here.
Right?
Did he sign with the Browns?
Eagles.
Okay. Another RBN team. I'm doing great.
I'm going to say writing about Johnny Munt probably wasn't high priority.
Sometimes I know things about the Vikings and I'll go in there and like tell this and the area is like, that's great, Chris.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's great. You're talking about a third tight end. No one cares. Here's a throwback. Laquan Treadwell.
Oh, he re-signed with the Colts.
Yeah, 11th season. He's still going in the NFL.
That's awesome.
It is. Awesome.
I'm sorry. And we talk about pops in wrestling all the time. That dude got the Stone Cold Steve Austin pop at the 2016 draft party when the Vikings took him.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy he's still in the NFL. But great for him, whether it's a practice squad or whatever. I mean,
he's a special teams guy now. He's doing good in there. Mike Zimmer's favorite quarterback, Jake Browning.
I do not know where Jake Browning went.
Went to the Bucks.
Back
up Baker Mayfield. And then I'm sure you probably know these three because you cover the team at the RBN network, but Tyler Conklin, DJ Wanham, and Teddy Bridgewater all signed with the same team.
Teddy Bridgewater didn't sign with the Panthers.
He didn't. You're right.
Detroit.
Yeah.
DJ. Okay. DJ Wanham threw me off because he used to play for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Whatever. I see. If I been on my toes, I would have been done the Shaq
but
thing.
Teddy
and like
he used to play for the Panthers a long time ago.
Dongguan Tires or something. Yeah.
And Tyler Conklin signed with the Lions too. So that's That's my game show. Where are they playing now? Vikings version, 2026 free agency.
Well, I have a feeling you know where Johnny Hecker is playing now
I
because
do.
as I get it up here, punting is life. Punting is life. We have a punter. His name is Johnny Hecker.
Mhm.
He has more touchdown passes than Max Brosmer has during his career. So that's exciting. I'm going to take that down, though, because we're not going to spend a segment on a punter. We're not going to spend a segment on a potential swing tackle either, as the Vikings offered an offer sheet to Ryan Van Denmark. What's that?
I didn't even write about it. That's how much I cared.
Yeah, Ryan Van Denmark, who sounds like a heel in the 1980s.
He does.
Yes, like, you know, he'd have the snidely whiplash mustache with the little curls.
Waving, he's definitely coming out with a flag and waving.
Oh, yeah. It's like a Denmark flag or something. I don't know. I think they would have like made him a chef or something. Like if there's ever like a wrestler
early
from
90s, yeah,
if there's a wrestler from Sweden, he will either be like Fabio with the long blonde hair or whatever, or like Pretty Deadly type thing, or like he'll be like a chef because Vince saw the Muppets or something.
How do I think Aleister Black is like from that area?
Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's all the same.
He is definitely not going to do
no, but I think of him because he's from like his character fits like I feel like black metal is very popular from where he is, and it fits his persona very well.
Yeah.
We digress.
Wrestling, this is how much we're excited about the Vikings free agents. Let's do some speculation. Let's have some fun here because the Dolphins came out a couple weeks ago and said they had no plans of trading Jalen Waddle or Devon Achane. Achane? Am I getting it right?
I don't know anymore. Because did you see what Travis Etienne
said? He said his is Achane or something. Remember, not to make fun of him. Like I'd want people to pronounce my name correct. I mean, people call me Schad.
Yeah.
People call me Chad all the time. Like that's the only thing that would like trigger me. Because like Chad's like got a negative connotation with it. It's like, hey Chad, how are you? Read it again. Read the name again, please. Not that I would ever call anybody out for that, but whatever. Jalen Waddle was traded to the Broncos on Thursday, though.
Yeah, he was.
The Dolphins said they're not trading Achane. They came out and said it again, which is translation for NFL speak, like, get your offers up. If Achane is available, should the Vikings be calling? And how much should they pay?
I mean, should they and will they are two different conversations. Because, yes, they should, because I think he would be a great fit for, it's weird to say a running back would be a great fit for the Vikings offense because Kevin O'Connell just doesn't run the ball. But Achane's also really good as a receiver out of the backfield. So he would be good for that. And he's probably, him and Jahmyr Gibbs, probably the two fastest running backs in the NFL right now. And we've talked about this in the past. The Vikings they need a burner in their backfield. They have Jordan Mason. He can get tough yards or whatever. But they need someone who can just, Adrian Peterson style, just like one cut and he's gone. Like just he's loose. They need someone like when's the last time Paul Allen said that? It's been a while.
For a run.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, even too, like Justin Jefferson. I even think of any like and he's loose plays.
He had the 98 yard
he did
catch, but that wasn't like he didn't run 98 yards with the football. He caught it like the 40 and ran the rest. But the ref is the most impressive part of that play, by the way. Just sprinting down the field. But yeah, I think the only thing that that would prevent the Vikings from wanting to get a guy like Achane is he wants to get paid. And he probably wants to get paid close to what Saquon Barkley's making, which is what? More than $20 million, I think. Which kind of would, and if the Vikings are, planning to potentially pay Kyler Murray, are you going to give a quarterback, $40 to $50 million a year and pay a running back $20 million a year while you're also paying Justin Jefferson, $30+ million a year, and you're thinking about possibly extending Jordan Addison, like Brian Flores is gonna be like, hey, can I get any money for the defense? And they're gonna be like, no, you're good. You can just you figure it out yourself. But with Achane, I also wonder, especially next year with the draft, the class is supposed to be a lot better. Are you willing to give up draft capital from next year to get someone like that? And the Vikings are in a unique situation because they don't have a GM. So does Rob Brzezinski want to make a big giant trade and then just hand the, you deal with it to the new GM, and the new GM's like, I would have never made this trade. So I don't know if they're willing to make a big move like that with no GM at this point. And just based on what they've done this offseason, the Vikings, doesn't look like they're looking to make that big of a splash. Like, they signed Kyler Murray because he cost $1.3 million next year. Their most expensive signing has been Eric Wilson, re-signing him.
Yeah.
Ooh, that moves the needle. It's going to get people going.
The ultimate needle mover.
Yeah.
Not the tribal chief. That's Will Reichard. Everybody talks about put a championship team around your quarterback. Yeah. Put a championship team around your quarterback. They've budgeted for Jordan Addison and Brian O'Neill's contract. Why haven't they budgeted for Will Reichard's yet?
Who's the highest paid kicker?
It's going to be Brandon Aubrey pretty soon. Because
somebody
Fairbairn just signed a contract.
Yeah,
he's
that's
getting
right.
like $6.5 million for Houston. So
all right, so still
Aubrey is going to get well above 7 because Jerry Jones.
Is Reichard going to try and get 10? You going to try and get 10?
Why not? Ask. Give me 10. LOL. How about 6? Let's talk. That's usually how things go
you
on.
Have a size 10? I've got a size 8. Oh, okay.
That'll do. Achane's really interesting to me. I'm just gonna stick with Achane because that's what I think it is.
I didn't even mention the connection of like the Vikings just hired. Is it Ryan Smith? Is that his name?
Frank Smith
as their assistant head coach, and he was the OC for the Dolphins for a while. So he's very familiar with Achane. But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the signs are there to go get him. Like the Dolphins probably would be interested in trading him for the right pick. You have his former offensive coordinator here. Like and the Vikings need some juice in the backfield. I think everything is there for a trade. The problem is I don't know how they're feeling about value, and I don't know how much they really want to do this offseason, because this feels very Minnesota Twins-esque where, they're stripping everything down so they can sell the team again. Like Derek Falvey stepped down. They haven't replaced him. Thad Levine stepped down. They haven't replaced him. Like the president of business operation, they haven't replaced him. Dave said, at some point, I just feel like Joe Pollad's going to walk out during a Vikings game like Eric Bischoff in, 2002 after WCW folded. And just, here he is, Joe Pollad. Shitty Vince McMahon impression.
I heard,
but
didn't Brzezinski use like a phrase of his the other day? I feel like he did.
Of Vince McMahon's?
No.
You're
That's what they said. The
JJ McCarthy.
That's what they left. They left Quasi a voicemail because he was at the Senior Bowl, and that's what it was. It was just Vince McMahon saying you're fired. No,
they sent him a GIF.
Yeah.
What is this, Siri? No, you're actually fired.
He's like, oh, funny joke. It's like, no, it's actually real. You're fired. It's like, oh. No, I think I was listening to Purple Daily or something yesterday, and they said Brzezinski said something that was very similar to something Pollad would say about like,
oh yeah. I guess maybe I did steal their show. I don't know. Somebody had texted me the Bischoff thing, and then I came back. So I guess if I stole their joking around a way,
no, they didn't say that, but they said something like he made it seem like their cost cutting. He put a better label on it of like we're adjusting to the market or something and making sure
right size the business is what he said. And they made a Joe Pollad joke. I'm looking at the text my friend sent me now.
Yeah.
It said didn't register when I first read, but then thought, what if Wilfs brought in Joe Polat like Vince brought?
Yeah.
That's how it came in. Sometimes I get jokes from other people and I'm like, I'm going to mix that in. So maybe that makes me not as funny as.
Because it came from
usually
like they were talking about how Brzezinski was like, I think he was saying the other day about how they were so happy and thankful about how commending or like accommodating TJ Hawkinson and Aaron Jones were to adjust their contracts. And it's like, yeah, because you probably went to them like, hey, we're either going to cut you or you can fix your contract.
Like Achane's interesting to me because it's a conversation about value, right? Like people still have, I mean, there's some people out there who still think running backs are like gremlins. And if you pay them, it's like feeding them after midnight. But I was listening to Chris Trapasso on the Purple Insider podcast, and he said he wouldn't give up more than the 97th overall comp pick for Achane, maybe 82. But he also went on to say, well, this draft class isn't great at running back. It's like, well, the Vikings need one. And like the other thing that they mentioned, and I'm not putting them on blast, but they're just like, oh, speed, you can find speed everywhere. There's lots of fast players in the NFL. Like Ty Chandler ran a 4.3 as Ian Rappaport put out as soon as he signed with the Saints. Yeah, he's very fast. He just doesn't know which direction the play is going.
He's like the kid in Mighty Ducks who can't stop. He's really fast, but just can't stop.
I thought you were going to go with the kid in that the blind kid that played football and youth football. And he's like, oh, yeah, I don't understand why they don't think a blind kid play football. And he's like running around and there's like a man. Yeah, go look it up. We're all probably going to hell for laughing, but that's okay. But I mean, it goes both ways. Like the Vikings need running back because Mason and Jones are not home run hitters. You have the connection with Frank Smith. I mean, the 18th overall pick, I said it to you. I'm like, dude, send that first rounder. I don't care. Okay. Maybe a little aggressive, but if the Dolphins are holding out for that original third, maybe even the second, like at some point the starters run out in the draft. And if that's what it is, and that's the other thing too, this team hasn't improved from last year. Like their way of improvement, like we're going to play better at quarterback and we're going to win games. Okay. Like you still have problem. Like, are you trading Grenard or not?
If they've added 2 external free agents, I think. Johnny Hecker and James Pierre. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, it's very Twins-like.
2. A depth corner and a punter.
Hey, don't make me put up the ticker.
No,
again.
but yeah, I'd give up I would give up the package that the Broncos got or gave the Dolphins for Jalen Waddle. I would give that up for Devon Achane. Like he's worth that more than Waddle is. I have no idea how the Broncos gave up.
You would give up a first for Achane?
Yeah.
I guess
I would rather have him than all these other random safety prospects that are being mocked to the Vikings. Like they're not. This draft isn't packed full of like. Aren't like game breakers. There's probably solid starters, but like if that's the case, then use your first round pick to get someone who is already proven to work well with the your new assistant head coach. And get him in the building and figure out how to get him in a contract you can afford. Put like 6 void years on it, like Howie Roseman does. My God, who'd he give a contract to? Was it Dallas Goedert? They gave him a 1-year contract with 4 void years on it. It's like, what? But yeah, I've always I feel like I'm in the Les Snead camp here of like. I'm more often than not, I will always probably support trading a first round pick for a player that's already proven. Multiple first round picks doesn't seem like it works out too well very often. I think we learned that with Max Crosby recently because we saw that list of all the people that have been traded for multiple first round picks, and it worked out for Matthews. I heard the other day people were like, "Oh, I don't know if it really worked out for the Rams and Matthew Stafford." I'm like, they won the Super Bowl.
I take that result. Yes,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted.
Yeah,
they're like, but Jared Goff's been better. It's like, but he didn't win the Super Bowl. But yeah, like guys like Jamal Adams have been traded for 2 first-round picks. Herschel Walker, obviously. So if it's 2 first-round picks, probably not. But 1, yeah, get out of here. Especially a year like this. If it was, I would place more value on next year's first-round pick than this year, especially since the Vikings are already out of the top 15. Like after those first 10 picks, like is there really that much of a difference between the players left on the board for you to pick in the first round compared to Devon Achane? I don't know.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, what's the difference between trading for Devon Achane and trading for Jeremiah Love if he falls? Which
Right.
sounds like it's not going to
Well,
happen because there's not a lot of good players in this.
Right.
There might be good players in this draft, but not like
the difference
usual
is
top
you already
10
know
players.
Devon Achane is good. Jeremiah Love,
Yeah,
he was good in college.
Yeah.
And he's getting a lot of hype. That does not mean he's going to be good in the NFL. Like Ashton Genty was all world, everything. He's going to be rookie of the year. I don't even think he got 1,000 yards last year with the Raiders. Now, the Raiders had a shit ton of problems last year, specifically on offense and their offensive line. So he was not in a good situation. And I think he will probably live up to his full potential this year. But trading for something you already know is proven to play well in the NFL over something that's it's the mystery box in the boat. It's, do you want this boat or in the mystery box? And it's like, well, the boat's pretty nice, but what about the mystery box? So, yeah, first round pick this year for Devon Achane, definitely. But are the Vikings going to do it? Absolutely not.
I have my doubts too. Like you have to make the financial commitment on top of that, and
yeah, they have $5 million in the cap right now.
Right? How much?
$5
bucks.
$5 million.
Oh, $5 million. Might be $5.
Might as well be $5.
Yeah, and they have to somehow sign their guys. I don't.
They're gonna get more money after June 1st. Jonathan Allen. Who else? Oh, Harrison Smith too. Well, I guess if he comes back. But
that's the thing. You can't have this value conversation and then turn around and take a safety in the first round. Yeah. And honestly, this whole thing could have been avoided if they had just re-signed Cam Bynum instead of, I don't know, overpaying Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, Byron Murphy.
They drafted Lewis Seen, so they wanted to see what he could do, and then he was never able to even make the practice squad.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton joke. I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, I just want them to do something fun because right now I'm just not. There's a 9 or 10 win team.
I think they'll trade Grenard. I think they will. I think,
but that doesn't make you better then.
Not this year. No.
I mean, maybe Dallas Turner does take that leap, and then it's kind of like a lateral move, and then you get picks to go with it.
Did you see him working out yesterday? My God.
I did. Yeah. Look, football player works out during the off season. Breaking news.
He was lifting 100-pound dumbbells just with each arm. Just cool, bro. Never do that in my life.
I struggle with like the weights like that, but it's like 45 pounds.
Yeah.
It's in there at the gym, just like, but like, I do the thing or the bench. So it's like a bench with 2 dumbbells.
Yeah.
And then, you do your 8, you do your 10, you do your 12. I know I don't look like I lift. I've actually just like started doing it instead of just, And then, you're like 8, this is easy. 10 is like, oh, that was a little hard. And then 12, you're like,
And he's doing 100 each arm.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try that at the gym tomorrow. If I call in sick to work, they'll know what happened. Well, I was on the podcast and both my pecs are torn. I don't know. Cody had a Hell in a Cell match with a torn pec.
He did.
It's pretty awesome.
Not both of them, though.
No, not both of them. What's going on at the Viking age, man? You tearing any pecs or what?
No. Just read about Thielen. Just kind of going over his career and everything. Kind of Fridge is kind of dying down. Like you can even notice like some of the insiders have been like, so and so backup linebackers visiting this team today. It's like that's what we got to talk about today. Clearly, like it was literally like a fire hose the first day of free agency. It's just which it usually is, but it felt like more this year. But no, yeah, we're still keeping an eye on maybe some moves that the Vikings make. Keep an eye on if they make a trade for Jonathan Gennard. I think the Colts were brought up the other day as a potential landing spot, and then like, what are the Colts doing? Like, what are they doing? Yeah,
We're going down swinging,
like,
baby.
you're making trade. You don't even like. Is Daniel Jones gonna be? Is his Achilles even gonna be ready? Like, I don't know. So we're covering that, and then just getting ready for the draft. Will be here before we know it. It's in Pittsburgh this year. Looking forward to that, and the Vikings will actually have a decent amount of picks. I'm just really curious to see how they approach that with technically no GM, so kind of KOC and Brzezinski and probably Brian Flores leading the way there. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see. We'll always keep an eye on the latest JJ McCarthy slander, because just for whatever reason, it just seems to pop up every now and then. So yeah, thevikingage.com. Check it out.
And meanwhile, I'm writing Vikings and Twins stuff for zonecoverage.com. I got wild coverage over at Hockey Wilderness as well. The RBN network, if you want to see what's going on with some of the other teams in the NFC North, we got the Packers coverage at Dairyland Express, Bears coverage at the Windy City, and Detroit Jock City for Lions coverage. So usually it's just me like writing stuff about the Vikings and trying to talk like Packer. So nobody's really called me out about that recently, but it happened last off season. I was kind of like, okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. Some wonderful people in the Viking sphere, but we're all great here at the Viking Age podcast. It's the official podcast of the vikingage.com. Check it out. Keep up with all the craziness during free agency. And we do this right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. I am Chris Schad at The Real Chris Schad. He is Adam Patrick at Adam Patrick NFL. 4 letters, 1 word. Skull.